Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon. This is Coach Allan with the amazing one and only Miss Helen Fong. And we're here today because we got some really cool stuff to share with you. Miss Helen, go ahead and let them know what it is.
It's a technique we use to help you remove negative emotions that's holding you back. We have this amazing technique called the lifetime technique that we find amazing to help people remove some of these mental struggles that are holding you back, like emotions that you're probably not aware of. And we find it very useful. Yes, we talk about fitness in the past, but we know that the mental challenges are just as important. So we got ourselves extra tools to help you.
Yeah, and the reason for that really is because, we've been talking so much about fitness on this channel, about working out, about eating right. And there's a lot of people out there that are getting the results, and we're really proud and we're happy for them. At the same time, there are some other people out there who work out, who try their best to watch their calories, who eat relatively well, and still are stuck time and time again with their weight gain. And there's other people that really want to get to the gym, really want to take care of their health, but there's something in their head that either makes them feel lazy or they feel like they can't do it, or they try one or two times and then all of a sudden they quit. And we've always asked that question of, well, why? Like, why does that happen to them? And more importantly, what can we do in order to help them solve that problem? I mean, who knows? Maybe whether you're watching this now or later on, you or somebody might be running through that problem of, well, I can't transform myself. And sometimes it's about fitness. Oftentimes it's about something else that's negatively triggering them to disbelieve they have the ability to take themselves to another level in health, in fitness, in mental fitness, in emotional fitness. And that's what today's video is really all about. It's not just about working out, about pumping up and getting fit, not on the physical sense, but more so on a mental and emotional sense. And that's what Helen's going to introduce you to today.
Yes, thank you, Coach Allan.
I'm going to step out so she can talk to you more.
But so what does this technique, lifetime technique, can help you solve? Yes, whatever you want to feel, yes, nutrition, workout can help you transform that. What about the thoughts in your head, psychological, the mental part? That's actually, I find, helping not give what, excuse me, not given what women want. Thoughts, right? The thoughts that we already have inside. Excuse me.
5 second break, everybody. 5 second break.
The thoughts, right? You need three things to create this a beautiful state. Yes, nutrition, movement. You probably have that, including myself in the past. I have a beautiful body. I mean, I transform myself on stage. I work out really well, but there's things that I find that prevent me from going after what I wanted. At first, was simply showing up on live video. I wanted to share my knowledge with you. That was hard. It was because I have memories in my past that still hold me back, that prevent me from doing that. So what I find was I have used this technique to remove that fear that was holding me back. And some of the memories in the past that wasn't good to me. Got remove everything, and now I'm here to share with you what you might be going through if you're already working out, you're eating well, but you're still not where you want to be in life. All right. So what we're going to talk about is just this simple technique that we've been using to help ladies remove those mental blocks. Well, there's there are physical symptoms and there's mental symptoms. Mental symptoms are the ones make you feel the feelings that make you feel angry, make you feel sad, make you feel hurt, make you feel guilty, make you feel fearful, right? So this line I'm going to share with you, how can it help you solve those problems? All right. So you see, a lot of the problems that we have actually are not just at the present moment. You see, you are like a house. A house meaning you accumulate a lot of things, and sometimes you accumulate things that you are not even aware of. Well, so your mind, we have a mind, right? Your mind is something like that. There's the brain, there's the mind. We talk about problems of the mind, problems that we can help. That this this lifetime technique can help you. Or excuse me. Okay.
You know, it's a little bit loud here downtown, folks. I'm just going to shut the window real fast. Give us a quick second.
So let's continue. What does this technique? What problem does this? What problem does this technique help you solve? Okay, problems. I have to say, money cannot buy, cannot solve money. Why? Because think about all the people who have money, celebrities, rich people, and think about some of the people who took their life. So this technique can help solve those problems money cannot buy, right? And another thing that this technique can help solve is traditional therapy cannot do. Medication no longer work. Do you know that a lot of people are on some type of antidepressant, but they still feel depressed? And another major problem this technique can help you solve is matter of the heart. Things or people make you feel hurt. And no matter how good you look, how much money you have, what kind of car you're driving, and you still feel hurt, feel angry, feel sad. Do you know anyone like that in your life? They got everything in life, but yet they complain about everything. Okay? And what else does this technique help you solve? Beliefs, thoughts that prevent you from getting what you want. Things like, I can't do something. I'm not good enough. I don't know anything. Those thoughts, beliefs are just thoughts that we learn maybe sometime in the past that we put in our head subconsciously, meaning not aware of it. You see, there are a lot of things that we accumulate in our life and not aware of it, but yet we know what to do. We know what to say. Especially me, thinking back, there's a language that I learned without even going to school, without consciously learning it. I started with only speaking a village language. But when I came to Canada, there's a language I didn't understand well. But because all my friends spoke it, Cantonese, and after a few years, I was able to speak it. So those are things that the environment implanted in you without you consciously really wanted to learn it. There are a lot of beliefs, thoughts that perhaps your parents model and you watch because maybe you were so young you didn't know, and then you carry those beliefs with you. Perhaps maybe you were young, your parents tell you, oh, maybe you're not meant for to do something like that. Maybe you're too short. Maybe you're too small, and you carry those beliefs. But if those beliefs are not working for you, this technique can help you get rid of those. Those are just thoughts. And sometimes, yes, maybe in the past you did something and the things that you want to do didn't turn out, and you label yourself. Maybe you told yourself maybe it's not something for you because something you didn't turn out. You failed something. And those are just thoughts. So thoughts, if they are learned and if they are acquired in your head, this time technique, this lifetime, we call it, can actually help you unlearn it. Learn something that's more powerful. Learn a belief that can help you to go after what you want, to live the life that you want. All right? So this lifetime technique deals with challenge of the mind. The mind. Where's the mind? Yes, you know you have a brain. That's the physical aspect of it. Where's the mind? Where? Can you point to me or to yourself? Ask yourself, where's the mind? You know the brain is somewhere around here, but where's the mind? Think about it. So the mind is something that this technique can help you solve problems, challenge of the mind. All right? So the mind has two parts. How you think and how you store all your memories. Can you see memories physically in your head? In your brain? No. But when you recall things in your past, but automatically memories, experiences show up. How does that work? It's a mystery, isn't it? Well, so that's what we hear is solving those thoughts of the mind. Thoughts, things that we think about, that control you, that make you feel angry, that make you feel sad, that make you feel frustrated. And how do those thoughts come to us, right? So I'm going to draw something on the board to tell you exactly how this lifetime technique can help you solve those challenges. Here's the present, and here's the future. And here's the past. So presently, if you're feeling stuck, you might feel, for example, angry, sad, hurt, guilt, fear. If you are feeling any of these feelings, any of these emotions, this time technique can help you get rid of those feelings. And also feelings that you might not have known that probably created these feelings in the past. That may be some negative memories that you have of someone said to you, parents, friends, some feelings that you might not even remember. But this lifetime technique can take you back to those times that you might have forgotten. We call them the past, the root cause, or memories, past memories. this lifetime technique can actually take you back to the past, even as far as generations, past life, and go back there and recreate those memories. Memories that help you feel better. You see, you have probably memories in the past that didn't make you feel good, and you haven't been able to resolve them. When those memories are not resolved, they still stay there, right? So memories that stay there, every memories have. Doesn't have to be big one, little memories. Maybe when you were young, your mom tell you to do something and you didn't want to do it, and she got angry, and because if she got angry, you got angry, or those are just small memories. But if you have negative feelings by someone of an event and they haven't been resolved, they accumulate one after another. Little event. They might not be big, but they stay. Your mind stores them like a computer, right? I'm sure you have a computer. Imagine you have a computer and there's hardware and there's software. Your mind is like the software, stores a lot of things. And they put all different things in different folders. So if some of the memories that were not good in your past, and you didn't resolve them, you didn't clean them out, so your mind keep them and make a folder for them, just like your computer. Good memories, bad memories. Good memories are awesome, they help you. But your mind is so powerful, it's so smart, it keeps everything, even bad ones. Okay, so what happened when your mind keeps all the bad memories, and it become bigger, and eventually what happened? It becomes so big, there's no space for it. And up to now, little things, little negative remarks someone say can get you angry or make you feel hurt so easily. It's because there's no space. For example, if you think about your computer, there's no more space to hold any more stuff. Your mind is something like that as well. All right? So imagine there's a way that you can go back and remove those negative memories. Imagine you hire somebody to help you go back to your computer and get rid of those things that you don't want. And a lot of things, sometimes you didn't mean to acquire. Who want to acquire negative experience? Who want to acquire virus in the computer? Sometimes, when we want to go into different website and we're not aware of the things of the site that we go to, and we get infected with virus. And some of the thoughts, some of the things that we do, we're not aware of it. The friends we hang around with, the people, the environment we step into. But that's okay. This technique can help take you all the way back and remove everything. All right? So this is how powerful this technique is. And so this technique helps you remove anything in the past, the present, and the future. A lot of people worry about the future. Future is something that hasn't happened yet. It's the unknown. So this technique will help you get into a space where you can see your future. Exactly where you want to go. A lot of times people are afraid because they don't know what's ahead. Will guide you into this space, this state where you feel relaxed. Only during relaxation the other part of your mind comes out to play. The subconscious mind. You see, you have there are two parts of your mind. There's the conscious part of your mind, and there's the subconscious. The subconscious part of the mind is where all your memories and all your habits are stored. The things you do require it, when you're using your subconscious mind, requires no willpower, whereas the subconscious mind requires willpower. So a lot of these feelings showed up is because they show up in your subconscious mind. All right, so doing this technique will guide you into this state where you are using your subconscious, when you can flow freely, where you can literally go back to the past really, really far. I'm sure there are a lot of things in your past that consciously you cannot remember, but during moments when you're feeling relaxed, when you're calm, you can actually go back and remember many, many things. All right, so doing this technique will help you get into this space where you can actually see yourself in the future and know exactly what your vision looks like, the goal, the things that you want to do, so you no longer feel afraid to do. All right, so another powerful thing, problems or challenge that this lifetime technique can solve is beliefs, thoughts. Did I mention that already? Coach Ellen. Beliefs, right? I think I did. So problems, the present, the past, the future, and beliefs that hold you back. You can go back, and most of the limited beliefs are created in the past. So again, we'll guide you to the past and help you rewrite those stories. A story that can empower you, can make you move forward and not make you feel stuck. Okay, so this is what this amazing lifetime technique can do. Solve a lot of the problems that money can solve, problems of the mind, problems of the heart. You're feeling hurt, you're feeling guilty of something that you've done in the past, feelings, emotions. They're good. You can use them to help you be productive in your life. But when they are not so good, it's time to let them go. All right, so let me see what else. Anything else would you like to chime in, Coach Ellen? No. Good. Well, I wanted to make sure I get all the points. Everyone understands how powerful this lifetime technique is, and that is something that many people are not aware of. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And next, how is this lifetime technique different from traditional therapy? Well, in a traditional therapy, people usually have to reveal a lot of details of what happened in the past. Imagine you have to go and we live those memories again and again. However, this lifetime technique requires you not have to discuss the details of what happened that caused you to feel negatively, angry, hurt, sad. Imagine you just come in here and just tell us how you feel about certain events. We take you back to where it started and have it removed. At least bring it down to a feeling, just neutral. You think about the event, but you're no longer attached to that emotion with that. I mean, things happen in the past. We can't really change the past, but you can change how you feel about it. And remember, negative feelings can drain your energy, and you do need energy to go and productive in your day. Imagine when you think about a feeling and it drains all your energy, how you can have enough energy to do the rest of the things that you want to do in a day. So what happened is we take you to a time and help you lower that emotions to at least a neutral, so you're no longer attached to that emotions. You can remember something that happened, right? Remember, you can't change the past, but you can change how you feel about it, right? So no details will be needed in this process. And second thing, why this lifetime technique is different from the traditional therapy. Traditional therapy is great for some people, but some people find it different and find that this lifetime technique works better. So it's a choice. But how I'm telling you the difference of it, right? Traditional therapy takes sometimes weeks, months, and even years to have results. But this lifetime techniques can take minutes, just 2 hours to get the results. We have witnessed results in front of our eyes within minutes. Okay, the third difference is a lot of the times traditional therapy, if you have to see some medical professions, you might be put on medications to feel better. But this lifetime technique requires you to take no medications. You can instantly feel better. This is what makes this technique so powerful. You can instantly, like a haha moment, like a breakthrough moment. Because whatever happened in your past, you owe a story. And we just take you to the past, where you can rewrite this story. You can rewrite, in minutes, in seconds. And once you write a different story, what happens? A story that makes you feel better. All right? So that's how amazing it is. Another difference of this lifetime technique is this technique can be conducted over Zoom anywhere in the world, 24/7, as long as it can fit to our busy schedule. We don't need to see anybody in person. It can be done over Zoom, over WhatsApp, over virtual meeting, and through the comfort of your own home. Okay, and anywhere in the world. And then the last And this lifetime technique where we can help you remove negative emotions is very inexpensive compared to traditional therapy. Why? Is because imagine you have to travel to their offices. You have to take time from work. Time is money. Think about the time traveling back and forth and the work that you have to take off. That's it. That's money. So those are the 5 differences that what we find lifetime technique different from traditional techniques. Okay, so I hope I have mentioned all the things I need to about this wonderful lifetime technique that if you like to try, let us know. But before you have any questions, I would like to invite Coach Allan back here to tell you how this is done. I tell you what is what problems that we can help you solve with this lifetime technique. Coach Allan is going to share with you how the technique is conducted. Thank you, Coach Allan.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Fong.
You're welcome.
Hello again, everybody.
I will step away.
She just stepped on my foot. That's okay. I'm just going to wipe the board here real quick as I walk you through
I can do that for
portion.
you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. So as Helen said, just to recap, the reason why we're so focused on sharing this skill set, this technique with you today is because there's a constant problem we keep falling into with our clients, with our friends, with our customers, which is those that want to excel in their fitness or even just in their lives. We don't have to just segregate it to just fitness, but just in our overall life. A lot of times when people want it, but they don't go after it, or they self-sabotage it, a lot of times it's because there's something in their head that's restricting them from excelling, from going after what it is that they want, like truly going after what they want. And 9 times out of 10, no matter where it stems from, as Helen said, whether it's from fear or anger or sadness or hurt or guilt or rage or some variation of those emotions, the bottom line is that a lot of times people don't go after what they want. They don't go after it. When they don't go after it, a lot of times it's because there's a part of them that says, maybe I don't deserve it. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. And that essentially is what Helen was getting to, was that there's so much of these voices in our head that sometimes we can control, but oftentimes it can speak so loudly to us and so repetitively that when we hear it enough inside here, we can actually start to believe it. I mean, isn't that something that maybe you've gone through in your life, where there was something that you went after, something that you wanted, something that you just believed to be so valuable to you? And oftentimes you probably went after that thing, whatever that is. Get the new car, get the new relationship, get the new body, make more money, whatever it is. But haven't there been times in your life where you wish you went after something and you lost the opportunity? You missed it. Not because you weren't capable, but because something inside of you held you back, gave you some fear, some uncertainty. And maybe with those feelings also came a voice that said, maybe it's too risky, maybe you're not good enough, maybe you can't make it happen, or some variation of the type. We are here to help you remember that in the old, and we call it old because there's a new way of thinking, there's an old way of thinking. The old-fashioned way of thinking was, in many of our circles, was, well, if it's meant for you, then it should just come quickly and easily. It should almost be effortless. You shouldn't have to try so hard. What we're learning now is that that could be true, but that's not something that's just given to us in life. That is a life made by design. Let me say that again. that kind of experience isn't always given to us, where it just comes quickly and easily and effortlessly. A lot of times that comes to us when we create that life. So it's a life created through specific design. And the design of that life it starts from how we internalize experiences and how we think for ourselves, think and feel for ourselves. So is our thinking and our feeling, is it headed in the direction that we want? Or is our head saying, hey, we want this, I want to have this, but is our emotion saying, maybe not? And that is when the mind and the heart are separated like that, that's usually when things don't go our way. That's usually when we lose opportunities. That's usually when our relationships get worse. That's usually when our fitness is not better. That's usually when we look down on ourselves because we know we should have, we know we could have, but we didn't. It's when that separation happens. We are here, Helen and I are here to remind you that there's a way to merge that. Now, before I get into how specifically, let me take a few minutes to explain to you who created this and how long it's been around, just so you don't think that it's just Helen and me that came up with this stuff. Like, we're relatively intelligent, but this is some high level genius stuff that we had to learn from other people, because I don't consider myself that level of a genius. Like, I'm not a great creator, I'm a great copier. I've learned that about myself. I'm good at taking other people's information, training, advice, utilizing it for myself, and then regurgitating that out to other people in a way that makes sense, that's usable to them. Helen's learning that for herself as well. That's why we're working on this together, because we're both students of this kind of work. And we want to be able to share that kind of work and the results with you as well. So to start off, where did this come from? This came and was born way back as early as the mid to late 1960s. Two popular names that come up. Number one, John Grinder. Number two, Richard Bandler. Now you might be thinking, okay, who are these two guys? These two guys are the creators of what we have now learned and discovered to be called neuro linguistic programming. Tony Robbins has a similar version for himself, for all of you that are Tony Robbins students, that he calls neuro-associative conditioning. But all this is like this whole explanation on how to transform your mind, the way you think, the way you feel, and do it quickly, came from these two individuals. And what they did, basically, in short, was this. John Grinder was a master in linguistics. Linguistics simply means a master in language. Richard Bandler was a computer programmer. And together, what they discovered is that the brain is very similar in operations to a computer. A computer, if you type in certain keys, it causes it to take on a command. And the command makes the computer operate in a certain way. Well, they discovered that the mind is similar to a computer, where if you learn the operating system of the mind, it can respond very similar to how a computer responds. Now, and that includes whether a person is scared or fearful or sad or just unable to operate. There are certain commands within the brain that can help the brain override those emotions if the need to take action is required, if the need to move forward is required. And this is what it's all about, right? That's what this conversation is about, is how do you move forward to get what you want, to get the body, to get the relationship, to get the money, to get whatever it is, when everything around you, including your own brain, is saying, no, you can't do it. There's got to be a way around that. And these two individuals, these amazing individuals, spent over a decade figuring this out. Well, how? Like, how do two guys, it's actually more than two guys, but these are the two most famous names in this field. So we're just starting from there, okay? How did these two guys figure it out? Well, what they learned is this. Let's pretend this line represents time. What they discovered through their own research, their own study, is that whenever there was some sort of problem, and most people were not achieving results. Let's say that this is the non-achievement line, and above this line is the achievement line. They had noticed that in everything that required effort, everything, whether you're elevating your skills for a new job, or you're going to the Olympics, or you're doing something that, like let's say Wim Hof. Now everybody knows who Wim Hof is, the guy that can sit in freezing cold temperatures for hours on end. When most people would die, he's still like, yeah, that's great. Give me a bag of chips or something. Like, he's just super comfortable in that environment. We're talking about these individuals that can excel when most people fail. These two guys figured out that the thinking associated to these people who excel, no matter what they did, whether it was the Olympics, whether it was trying to make more money when they were flat broke, whether it was them trying to drop 20, 40, 50, 100 pounds when they were 100 pounds overweight, and everybody else was failing, but they were exceeding, they were excelling. They noticed that the way they processed, like a computer, the information of the experiences was drastically different from the majority of people that just kept saying, hey, I can't have it, I can't do it, it's impossible, there's just no way I can make this happen. They studied the people who excelled. And they got hundreds upon hundreds and upon hundreds of case studies. And what they found was really unique. No matter what the field is, okay, whether we're talking about sports, whether we're talking about being a top level stock exchange broker, or a real estate agent or something, or having an amazing relationship, they noticed one thing was very common amongst these people. Whenever they were in study, or whenever they were in the process of engagement, when they're actually in action, when they were doing the thing that made them excel, a lot of those individuals, or all these individuals, did one thing that these people didn't. This is the brain, this is the conscious part. Everybody that says, I can't do it, they operate out of conscious. That's the part of your brain that says, I will, I won't, I can't, I won't. It's constantly making decisions. But the people who excel, the people who are the top level in any field, no matter who they are, the one thing that John Grinder and Richard Bandler noticed is that these individuals didn't operate out of conscious. They always operated out of subconscious, or the unconscious mind. It's when you look at basketball players, for example, and like, you can hear the announcers in the back, especially during Michael Jordan, during his days, and you hear it with any top level player, and they're always talking about how these guys get into state. They get into this mind frame where all they want to do is do what they do best, and the crowd is cheering and everybody's yelling and the coaches are screaming at them and other people are screaming at them, but they don't hear anything. All they're doing is focusing on that one particular task. It's like all of a sudden they get tunnel vision, every distraction gets out of the way, and no matter what is in front of them, no matter what the obstacle, they're able to work around it, over it, through it, under it. Nothing seems to stop them. Well, no matter what the field, all of these individuals came from that level of mental operations. So when John and Richard figured this out, they're like, oh my God, okay, so everybody who does really well, who excels, who gets the results that they want, they don't just do it from conscious. They tap into their unconscious brain, or their subconscious. The next question these two asked was, okay, if that's what they do, well, how do they do that? How do they tap in to the subconscious part of the mind? And that's what these guys became amazing with. What they basically did in a nutshell is they learned to understand how top level people, athletes, individuals got to subconscious. They created a step-by-step, like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes a 10-step process, sometimes 3. But basically what happened is they created a step system where they could utilize these steps, teach it to anybody, apply it to almost any field. And 9 times out of 10, all these individuals that learned the steps ended up excelling in their success. They were able to get what they wanted with less time, less effort, less energy. If they're investing like money, a lot of times they would have to invest less money, sometimes more, but often less, because all the guesswork that was normally in the fearful and the uncertainty that was normally in place, all that gets removed. Now, hear me on this. It's not the situation. It's not, oh, here's the situation that now is easier to understand. It's much better for me. No, no, no. The problems are still there. The situation's still there. The mind frame is what changed. The way these individuals looked at problems completely changed. In their head, they were able to take mountain level problems and turn them into little anthill situations. Still a problem, still got to get over it. But if you had to choose, if you had to pick, okay, which problem am I going to get over? The mountain or the anthill? Well, you probably pick the anthill if the results on the other side were the same, right? So these guys figured out the 10-step system. And it's not necessarily 10 steps. I'm just giving you an ideal of what it kind of looks like. But these steps are universal. And the universal steps basically break down like this. Could I ask you to wipe it again, please? We're just going to take a brief second here just to wipe down this amazing board from my amazing friend here, Miss Helen Fong. Thank you so much for your help.
Great.
Isn't she wonderful, people? Not just because she's wiping a board, but because she took the time to explain her part on this for you. And I got to tell you, this is actually Helen's first time going public with sharing this information ever since we really deep dived into this training, into this transformational change just a little under a year ago. It's been nearly 20 years for me. Helen got introduced to it way back as a student, 2018. And now as an instructor, as a teacher, as a trainer, it's only been her first year. So now she's gone and switched roles. Thank you so much for doing that. Switching roles from just someone who's experiencing the change herself to now somebody who gets to re-teach it to other people so they benefit. People like you, okay? So going back to what I was saying, the steps basically look like this. In order to tap into the subconscious, which, by the way, the reason why the subconscious is so valuable is for a million things, but I'm just going to give you a handful of them here. Number one, the subconscious is responsible for the auto response. Auto response. So in other words, what you do automatically without thought doesn't come from here, it comes from here. So if there's danger in front of you, and for example, you just run, which a lot of times is wise, unless you got family, friends there, then you got to protect them. If they can't run with you, you got to stay and protect them. At least that's my belief. If your autopilot is to run, well, that's where it comes from. And if you need to make change so you stay, so you protect your family, you protect your friends, whoever's there from the danger, then the auto response has to change from the subconscious, not the conscious. When you're driving down the road, if, for example, and I hope not, but let's say some people do this, you're driving down the road and a wild car comes at you, some people are like, oh, there's a crazy person in the car, boom, and they get smashed. Well, why didn't they move? They didn't move because their auto response is set to just sit there and stare. And again, I'm not being disrespectful, it just happens. If they want to change the auto response, so when a dangerous car comes, they swerve, they move, they get the car out of the way, they can't make the change from here. They have to make the change from here, from the subconscious. The other reason why this is so important is because the amount of information the brain stores is drastically different between conscious and subconscious. Which means that if you want to make a change, you want everything working in your favor, right? And that also includes how much information your brain can process. Based on our trainer's advice and the training that we receive, so this is not my stuff, it's what we've learned along the way. The conscious brain can store and process an average of 128 kilobytes of information per second. Now that's fairly big, right? When you look at the subconscious brain can process and store an average of 2 million kilobytes per second. 2 million kilobytes of information per second can be processed and stored from the back of your brain. This is why when we do this kind of work, for example, let's say if I asked you, hey, tell me something that happened, way back when you were 3 years old, 4 years old, something where you felt very uncomfortable. Well, most people would be like, what are you talking about, 3, 4 years old? I'm 50, I'm 45, I'm 40, I'm 38. What am I going to remember from like when I was 3 or 4 years old now? Are you nuts? Well, of course, that's the natural way to respond. Why are they saying that? Because they're trying to get that information from here where the storage is really low. Now, 9 times out of 10, when we run people through this lifetime pattern, this technique, and part of this technique is memory recall, the ability to pull back and bring up information from years ago. No matter how old or young they are, when we ask them to go back to their previous ages of like 10, 9, 8, 7, all the way down to 4 years old, we've had some people even say when they're 2 years old, they can recall that because they learned to access this part, the part that can store 2 million kilobytes of information per second. In other words, all the stuff that you want to remember, that you want to make change from, has to come from here. If it comes from here, this is usually when people go, yeah, I'll make the change. So I'll get up tomorrow at 6 a.m., for example, or 5 a.m. And they get up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. the one day. And then the next day they do it again. The next day they do it again. And after 3, 4, 5 days, maybe a week, they're like, oh, I can't do it anymore. Can't do it. Well, why? What happened? Well, I don't know. Well, what do you mean you don't know? You said you're going to make the change. I know. So what happened? Well, I don't know. Well, what do you mean you don't know? I don't know. They don't know because the conscious brain is not designed to create the pattern, the daily habit. It's designed to accept or reject the habit, but the habit as in the auto response, only comes from here. So again, let me recap this real quick. In order to make change, in order to be able to move and to access that part of our brain, we have to recognize that all change comes from subconscious. The conscious will accept or reject the idea, but the subconscious is what will turn it into auto response or into autopilot mode. In order to make that happen, the following has to be done. Number one, let's pretend that this is time. And this is the beginning of a session. Let's say that we're working together, for example, and you wanted to make a change. You wanted to improve the way you're eating. You wanted to stop the negative thinking that's in your head. You wanted to build the habit of going to the gym. You want to build the habit of walking. I don't know. You wanted to build the confidence to go out there and to start lifting weights in a room full of really fit people. Let's just say, you know what your goal is. You fill in the blank, all right? If this is the beginning, the first thing we have to do is we've got to get the mind, to relax. Sounds simple, and it is. In order to access the subconscious mind, the mind cannot be tense, it cannot be agitated, it cannot be heightened. It has to be relaxed, almost as if you are ready to go to bed, and you're just in that place between being awake and being asleep. Where you're just at that point where you're really relaxed and you're on your way to going to sleep. A high level or a well-trained practitioner can help you do that. Number one. Number two, from here, you have to be guided to access the part of your brain that has the problem or has the trauma or has the area that you want to create change in. In other words, all change comes from a beginning. So for example, let's say, we just dealt with somebody recently who's going to go on a show this coming Saturday. It's their first fitness competition, kind of like Helen's from years ago. He's a young guy in his early 20s. He was unsure if he could get on stage. And the reason why is because he had a major fear. And the fear was that he thought he was going to let people down. He thought he was going to let his coach down. He thought he wasn't going to perform. And instead of being able to understand and process it, his way of dealing with it was just to suppress it, pretend it's not there. And he was saying things like, I'll just get it over with. I'll just do my job. I'll just get it done. But you could see in his face he had an uncertainty. So for him, what we did is we got into step number one. In order to find out where the problem came from, we got him to relax. Number two, we put him through a guided process where we were able to tap into his subconscious and find out, well, where did this fear originate from, this uncertainty? And we found out that it went all the way back into an early part of his childhood where he wanted to be able to please someone. He wanted to be able to connect with somebody, someone like a guardian, like a father figure, like a family figure, somebody he looked up to. And there was this disconnect that maybe he wasn't good enough. So after we discovered that, after putting him through the guide, number three, what we did is we did what we call a state change. And the state change really just means that we're able to create a different meaning from that past experience. Now look, real quick, I know we're going through a lot today, but to simplify this, if you want to create a change in the way that you show up in your daily habits, and it's not like the habits that you have right now are not what you want them to look like, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's a story in your head of something that happened way back in your childhood, in most cases. And that story is something that defeats you. It's something that puts you down. It's something that tells you you're not good enough, you're not great enough, and you're not meant for it. It's like something that makes you feel lower than who you are, who you truly are. And we've discovered from the work that when the change happens in the story of why that happened to you, what's it for? What's the real meaning behind it? When you're able to change that story to something more empowering, what that does is it changes the actions that come out of you automatically. The actions that come out of you automatically afterwards are drastically different. They're night and day. Because something that Tony Robbins said to us a long time ago, he said, no matter who you are, no matter what you want to do, no matter what you want to accomplish in your life, you will never exceed the one thing that we, not you, but we, all of us, the one thing that we will never do is we'll never exceed our personal identity, who we really are on the inside. So if you're somebody that wants to become rich, for example, but deep down you think you're broke, you'll make some money and then you'll go back to broke. If you're somebody that says, hey, I want to be really fit. I want to be really fit, but your identity is I'm fat, I'm overweight, I'm out of shape, which might be associated to something happened in my life, so I'm undeserving, I'm not good enough. Well, guess what? No matter how much you want to be fit, you might have times where you get fit, but do you notice how there's times where you just go back to being out of shape? The same can be applied to anything. Fitness, mental health of any type, building great friendships, relationships, building a business, getting the job or career that you truly want. But if the mind's not right, you'll get it and then you'll lose it. You want a business, it'll start to succeed and then you might self-sabotage it. Not because you want to, but because the story in your head that says that you should have it or shouldn't have it, it's not serving you if you're not getting the results that you want. Now, this is where it gets really exciting because after we create the state change in the person, and all of a sudden their actions, their automatic actions get switched. Well, what ends up happening is as time goes by, if this is the goal here, and if this is the no goal, or this is like avoiding the goal, if their actions before the work was heading down in this direction, after we create this state change, and after they change the story in their head where it's automatic, where they don't have to think about it, it just comes out of them. What happens is beautiful in the days after. All of a sudden, their automatic daily actions start to change. They might start to go up and down a little bit. They might start to, look for their solutions. They might start to look for a way of doing it to get their goal. But essentially what happens is they get more drawn to their goal on a daily habit, on a daily actions. I don't even know what else to call it. And it's funny because sometimes people will come back to us and will say, so how's that thing that you were working on? And they'll be like, what thing? I'm just doing it. Or sometimes it will be like, so how's that problem that you were trying to solve? And they're like, what problem? It's like their unconscious, their subconscious mind no longer recognizes there was a problem to begin with, because their brain's just focused on that one thing that they want, which is their ability to achieve the results that they came to us, because that's what they really desire. And that's what we have in store for you. That is something that has been around since literally the 1960s, became popularized in the 70s, went really public in the 80s, and it's been out there ever since. So in closing, we want you to remember this, okay? Like today was just a rough general overview. Helen and I are going to start doing more live events like this in order to help educate you, share with you, let you know what's possible for you, the outcomes that you want to create in much faster times. We want you to know that if you're stuck, if you're in a position where you're not getting the results that you want, if you want something but you're like, your brain is just fighting you, we want you to know that we've been there too. We want you to know that we've come from that place where we wanted stuff to happen in our life, but it didn't. The only difference is that instead of us believing that we can't have it, we don't deserve it, we should just lower our expectations, we've learned how to use this system of thinking to turn our daily actions around, to help us go after those things that we want, even when our environment around us tells us we can't have it. So we're no longer just relying on the environment to support us. I mean, yes, that's important too. Don't take me wrong. Support in your environment matters. But what matters the most is when you learn to support yourself first, when you believe in yourself first, when everything and everybody around you says, I don't know, man. I don't know if you can really pull this off. And that little thing in your head goes, before it was like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, no. But the new version of you, after this work, starts whispering in your head, you just wait. You just wait. You watch me. You watch me. I don't have results right now, but I'm going to get it. And when I get it, you're going to wish you never thought to say that to me. It might sound arrogant, but it's bold. And in order to have what you want in life, there has to be a boldness that comes out of you. And this training, this ability, this mindset shift can bring you a step further towards having it. In closing, I want to share with you a quick illustration of what I mean. I want you to imagine that this piece of paper represents time. I want you to imagine that this is the beginning of a problem that you had. And this is the time, let's say this is 10 years that go by, where all of a sudden you get sick of it. And you're like, why am I putting up with this? Why am I dealing with this? For some of you, it might be a relationship where you've been in it for so long, and unfortunately your partner is just mistreating you. I hate to say that, but we meet people all the time that feel that way. And sometimes after 10, 15, 20 years, they're like, okay, I have to make a change here. And they'll either change themselves, or they'll change their environment. They'll change the relationship, or they'll take an action. Them and their partner will go through counseling. Sometimes people wait 10, 20, 30 years to do that. Or let's say it's you stuck in a job. Hey, I'm sick of this job. I'm sick of being paid minimum wage. I'm sick of being paid 20, 30K, 40K a year when everything's getting more expensive, but my wage isn't going up. I'm sick of it. And they might wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then they go, okay, you know what? I need to elevate myself, make more money. Whatever that case is, if this represents time, what this represents is this. Taking that time and cutting it. Why wait the 10, 15, 20 years to make that decision, to make the change and produce better results, when you can literally fold that time? If this is the problem, this is the solution, you can start to build that now. And that's no exaggeration. This kind of technology, mind technology, doesn't survive 30, 40 years unless it's good. And it's not only good. If you look at CEOs, if you look at presidents, if you look at world leaders, if you look at military, if you look at any authority organization, they have all been utilizing this kind of training, this kind of mind shifting in their organizations, in their groups for decades. And that's why they're some of the best in the field in the world. It's not just because they're the best of the best, it's because they learn how to become that. So if they can use it for them, why can't you use it for you? Why not? We're not saying that we're the best of the best, okay? But we're definitely better than we were 10 years ago. And honestly, in the way that we think and the way we perform, Helen and I are at the best that we are today. And we're only getting better from here. And now we're opening this up for you to come and join us so you can get what you want out of your life as well. So that about wraps it up for today. If there's anything that you want to do in terms of looking at our information, looking at how we help people, please go ahead and check out our main page online. It's emotionalenlightenmentconsulting.net. Again, emotionalenlightenmentconsulting.net. The first thing you're going to see when you go to that page is you're going to see a little bit of an introduction on us and a whole bunch of testimonials of real life events, of real life people where we help them overcome their problems, overcome their challenges, all within a matter of hours. People that have been going through 10, 15, 20, 30, 50-year problems, all of a sudden eradicated in less than a day. So looking at that website, it'll give you an idea of what's really possible for you. And of course, if you got questions or you got comments, if there's anything that you want to know, on that page as well is a contact us section where you can ask us any question about this training, about how we can help you, about how we can serve you. So everything that you want to know is not only right there, but the ability to contact us and to ask us is right there as well. Okay? We're about to close off here, so let me bring back Miss Helen real quick so she can share some closing thoughts with you today.
Thank you so much, Coach Allan.
Hey.
Look at the way he explains things. And I'm also happy to be part of this team to make your life feel better. And I realize you don't have to feel stuck in life. And I want you to know that there's greatness, there's love in you. And the only way to reveal them, the true love, the greatness in you, is having somebody help you reveal them if you haven't done so. And we are so proud to reveal this technique that we have used on ourselves and so many people. So that's why we're here. We're excited. We're quite excited to share this information with you. All right. So if you have any more questions, please reach out to us. And check our website with all the testimonials.
Absolutely, 100%. All that information is there. It's there and ready for you. If you're that kind of a person that's trying to make a transformation in your life, if there's another level of health, of fitness, of goals that you want to go get, but something in your head is holding you back and saying, hey, I don't know if I can get it. I don't know. Whatever level that is, we can help you break through it, over it, past it with lightning speed. And I've never been able to say that before until now, because the training and the technique that we've gained is so advanced that it blows our mind often on how fast our changes happen, because we use this stuff too. Like, we're not superhuman. We got problems. We got issues. We got stuff that we got to deal with. But the one cool thing about it is that we're never stuck. We're never stuck with these issues anymore, with these challenges, with these things that used to take years to overcome them. No, I'm not exaggerating. They take minutes now. And it's not only for Helen and me, but it's for all the clients, all the people that we've served. It's why we're coming out in a Facebook Live to you now, is because we're so confident in how well it works that we can't help but share it. So as you said, Helen, please, you got some time, check out the site. If you are that kind of person that wants to elevate in your life, we could be the people to help you do that. But of course, seeing is believing. So check out the testimonials, go on that page, ask us anything that you want, and just give us 24 hours. We'll make sure that we get back to you within a day. Okay?
Yes. You just do way more. You do. You do.
100%.
Yes.
And sometimes you need a team of people to help you get there.
Yes.
And we could be that team to help guide you.
Yes.
So thanks again for watching. We appreciate your time. We appreciate whenever you had a chance to take a look at this. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and click like. If you want to go and watch more videos, because we'll be coming out with more live events like this, go ahead and click that follow tab. And again, thank you for spending your time with us. We really appreciate you. We're looking forward to seeing you on the next event.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
We'll definitely see you next time.
Thanks, Coach Helen.
Thank you, Ms. Fong. We'll talk to you soon.